What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Random Movie Review. And tonight, we're just going to keep going with the not so much norm, but we're going to be talking 1987's Masters of the Universe. Not Kevin Smith's Netflix.
Hey, kids! I heard that we're going to be talking about Masters of the Universe. I'm here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
matter,
Kevin
JJ?
Smith.
What's the matter, JJ? Didn't you like my intertape? Oh, forget it. It doesn't matter. Because I'm going to kill them all in the first few scenes.
And immediately JJ is like, this is not what I wanted in this conversation.
So sorry about that, JJ. You know how some of these clowns like to get on my channel and just say all kinds of random stupid things. I'm going to try to keep them under control. You can count on me, JJ.
What's good,
Darius? Why weren't you here, man? You said, yeah. I sent the link, but no. Mr. CCDV, what's going on, man? Thank you for showing up. Great to see you. Yeah, we're talking 1987's Masters of the Universe. You know, that great Dolph Lundgren classic.
Fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal.
Hey, Slasher, you know, no holds barred, man. I'm going to ask you the typical questions that I've been asking, you know. But
no, wait, I thought you were talking about that terrible Hulk Hogan movie, No Holds Barred, for a second. But go ahead.
No. I'm gonna go around and ask the typical questions because I like to try to do these in a roundtable-esque style thing. I'm gonna ask you the simple questions. You know, what your overall thoughts, what you liked, what you disliked, and what kind of grade you give it. But at the same time, we will be ragging the shit out of this movie, people. All right, they ain't no lie. They ain't no lie about that one.
Who on the panel isn't gonna be talking some shit about this fucking movie? So, pardon my language.
She won't. She's not there.
She ran away.
When she comes back, she will, because she was actually sitting here watching this with us. Like, she. Dolph's best movie. No.
God, I didn't know you were such a stand-up comedian, CCD.
Dolph's best movie. All right, my personal opinion, Dolph's best movie, other than Rocky IV, but that wasn't really a Dolph movie.
Red Scorpion.
Nope. Universal Soldier.
I Come in Peace.
I Come in Peace. Yes. And when I get that motherfucker, we're doing it too.
Universal Soldier was awesome, but I Come in Peace.
Yeah. Dude, when I get paid, which is going to be in the next day or two, I'm ordering that movie. I found it. So we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking that one too.
Hey, JJ, we need to straighten something out in the chat real quick, though. Mr. CCDV is drinking again, and Darius is putting up a cheers glass with him. Mr. CCDV, just because Darius is drinking too doesn't mean that you should be kissing him. I just want to go ahead and say that you need to ask permission first, even if it's a virtual kiss. So let's just, we don't want anybody getting offended in the chat, so let's just take it easy.
Oh, you mean Darius can't walk up to him and just flat say, "Dead or alive, I'm kissing you now."
Sleazy Bees, what's up? I bet you Mr. CCDV hates the fact that he even mentioned that to me.
What did he mention to you? Okay, I missed something.
It was on the one panel. He was talking about it.
So
he was talking about an experience he had.
Jens, are you still here?
Okay, all right.
Is Jens still here? Okay, so yeah. So if everyone here, Jens would probably have the highest opinion of this movie, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that, Jens, you actually legit liked this movie?
Yeah. Looking back on it, at the time when it got released, because I was about 14, 15 in that, and I'd been playing with the toys, watching the cartoon and that, and expecting like an amazing version of it. So I was well up for watching it, and then I was disappointed at the time. I was like, oh no, there's no
when you first saw it, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. When I first saw it and that, when it first got released, I was disappointed because there's no Walker and that. But looking back on it, sort of thing, and like we'll watch it tonight, so I can respect the attempt. But,
I would say it was an attempt. It wasn't, a success. It was an attempt.
Well, that's
First
the
of all-
funny thing about this movie. They did try to make attempts, and they tried to make it, I guess, as close to the toy line as they could possibly get, while trying to bring it into more of a, I guess, what they said, realistic setting. Because if you would have seen some of the initial concept designs that they had for the characters and their outfits and everything, you probably it would have reminded you of that. You were talking about before about that Batman line where they had a gold Batman, a red Batman, a blue Batman. Yeah, they had He-Man all in like gold colors.
All right. Well, also the goddamn and the fucking Skeletor with his gold fancy outfit on. It's like, Jesus, dude.
It looked very Ming the Merciless.
Like, really? It's like, yeah, Skeletor is Diana Ross. He needs a wardrobe change real quick. Boom.
Yeah, but that's because he had the sword.
I will say he looked fancy. I would call that fancy Skeletor.
Yeah. Well, it was all blinged. What once he got like the power of the Grayskull.
Oh, he had these little horns on his helmet and everything. He was looking real, like real fancy.
I'm just going to say it seems like a certain somebody, without like saying it out loud, took some of the hints that were laid down in this movie, like Tila's outfit.
Oh, all right.
God.
Okay,
I'm just
saying. You know what? I won't complain about Tila's outfit because even though it wasn't a Tila-ish outfit, all right, Tila was hot.
And she wore the thong on the outside of the outfit.
It was like Sonya in the first Mortal Kombat game. How Sonya had a thong on the outside of her costume.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing wrong with wearing your underwear on the outside.
No, not at all.
A bit masculine, yeah, but not real masculine.
He wasn't masculine. He just tried to make her look masculine.
Let me tell you something, JJ. If you ever came to visit me down here, and we were going to go out somewhere and freaking like go to a mall, or if you're going to go out to check out a restaurant or something like that, if you were wearing your underwear on the outside of your pants, I wouldn't even bat an eyelash, buddy. I would just let you go with it. It wouldn't faze me.
No. Not even in an outfit, no.
Moira? Underwear on the outside?
Wait, did she mute herself?
Yeah.
She's trying to talk right now.
Try again, darling.
I did not mute myself.
I did. I'm sorry because it was echoing. I forgot. My bad.
Everybody was sitting there laughing at me like I'm stupid. I'm like, I know I did not.
Oh, I wasn't laughing.
No, we were laughing because of the look you gave. Like, no.
Anyway, he looked a little butch, but like still had like female.
He didn't look
attributes.
butch. Laurie, if you're talking about the haircut she had, yeah.
You can't see her hair; it's under a thing. Although I swear to God, if that's not like the mom of the weird
Tila? No, she just had like a headband.
I don't know.
I don't know their fucking names. My bad.
Can we possibly rephrase that, because having her hair under her thing just doesn't sound right in today's climate.
Well, it doesn't. It really doesn't really help because first off, the headband's sort of under her hair, not her hair under it, and so that's why I thought you meant talk about the chick with the metal head thing.
All right.
That hair was under that. No.
I'm not.
Wordage matters.
Y'all go ahead.
JJ Phelps. We didn't even start the discussion properly yet.
Already.
But like, she looked like she was about to like
Wait,
She looked like
wait,
an
wait.
aerobics instructor. Like that was like
Oh, she did look like an aerobics instructor.
I was like
Okay,
I wasn't digging the outfit at all.
You know what, JJ? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Start
but
it
you
off
don't-
properly.
No,
I'm just.
He bounced from his own screaming. No. You said
No,
her
no,
hair
sir.
under her thing.
Yeah. No, we done said we was gonna rag the hell out of this movie, but I do have my questions to ask. Slasher, since this was your first time, give me your overall impression of this
Crap.
piece of work.
Crap.
Okay. That's simple, huh?
All right. If you want me to say something non-disparaging of the movie, it's
Hey, Mom.
exactly what I expected. Oh, hello, Bone. How you doing?
How's that
What's up,
not
Bo?
disparaging?
No, I'm saying if I'm going to use less
Not
harsh,
non-disparaging words.
I'm going to say if I'm
Okay.
going to use less,
Adjectives.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was exactly what I expected.
Did
And
you
I
just say
didn't-
At least it's no
adjectives?
letdown.
And I didn't miss anything not seeing it as a little kid.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I
That's-
saw it like 30 years ago, and like, it was okay. Now it's like, ooh, I'm glad my taste has changed. But like
And,
when I see the other woman that like has that metal thing over her head, it makes me think of the guy from Fifth Element, Gary Oldman, where he has like half his hair covered. Like that would be his mom.
Yeah,
the-
The sorceress.
yeah, no, yeah, Evil Lynn. You're talking about?
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
talking
The
about Evil
sorceress
Lynn?
has like crystals all over her head. I would have said
Oh, okay,
that.
that's the sorceress. Yeah, Evil Lynn was the one from.
She's the
fucking,
bad guy that's helping
They
Skeletor.
Live. Yeah, They Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird eyes chick.
Oh yeah, creepy.
Which actually looks like Zool from Ghostbusters.
Oh, good
Yeah, she
lord.
played a good evil Lynn in that. Because, like, all the characters were played pretty good, I thought.
No,
You know,
they weren't.
Darius is like more doesn't like
No.
muscular men anymore. First off, I've never liked overly muscular men. Like, taking care of yourself is okay, or if you're just like thin, you just have natural muscles showing through, like that's fine. But I don't like anyone who looks like they just roid up. That's not my thing. Like if their veins are showing,
Oh,
where
you
it
don't
looks like they have like high blood pressure situation about to happen.
You don't like roid heads?
Oh.
the small
I don't
dick.
like guys who look oily either. Like
Oily.
I've seen advertisements for those. Well, I've seen advertisements trying to entice women to like
Alright,
those,
yeah, that's right. We were
those
watching the movie.
Australian strippers or something, and I'm just like, they look like they're this far from turning into a leather wallet. They spend any more time in a tanning booth,
That's
and they look greasy and oily. They look like they smell like wet garbage.
when we were watching
Alright,
the movie. When we were
Hang on a
watching
second,
the movie-
Slasher.
Yeah.
Darius,
Sorry.
if you're able, the links in the chat. Come in if you wish.
Yeah, no shit. Get your ass up here.
Join us.
But during the movie, Moira was talking about how oily Tom Lundgren looked.
It looks like he smells terrible. There's some pictures you can just smell and taste it at the same time. You're just like,
What?
He's a warrior, though, isn't he? He's a warrior. He was fighting Skeletor because, like, in the
well,
beginning,
that's great and fine, but man, every time he hugged her, she was just laying her face up against
But
like
it's-
oily,
it's-
juicy smelly
It's
stuff.
just warrior grease. That's all.
That's nasty.
It's just warrior grease. That's
I know,
awesome.
right?
Yeah, what they should have did
Well,
is they
that's
should have
lack
had
of
her hug her,
hygiene.
and then all the grease just made her slip up in the air and fly away.
Oh my gosh.
Like a fucking rocket. Like But he was barely in the fucking movie. Yeah, fucking listen to Skeletor give like fucking 6-minute monologues in between action scenes. Like it's getting
Hey.
annoying.
Darius, it's fine if you missed the movie. Tommy came in and walked the fuck away.
Well, Tommy had already seen. I think the movie is tattooed on Tommy's brain, whether he likes it or not. I think he knows what goes on and everything. So that's why he was like, that's why he was like, I could not watch it and come in and talk shit about it.
Well, and you know that's the thing about this movie. I will give some credit to this movie. Now, first off, I'm going to start by I can't stand this movie. I cannot stand it. But you know what? There was a few things that they did right. They tried as desperately as they could to try to pay attention to the characters that were in the He-Man franchise, at least a few of them. And they tried to get them somewhat like they looked, but they failed miserably. And then their biggest mistake is when they started creating characters for this movie that didn't exist in the toy line. And this is the things that the kids from the toy line wanted to see. This is the things that the kids from the cartoon wanted to see. They wanted to see all the characters they remembered. They wanted to see Merman, and they wanted to see Ram Man. They wanted to see Cringer and Panther. They wanted to see that. Now, I know that there was a bit of a problem where they said it was going to cost too much money to actually bring Panthers in because they didn't have the type of CGI that we have now. So to try to put a Panther in there, they would have had to bring in a live animal in order to do it with trainers and everything. And that shit is costly. So yeah, I kind of get why they didn't go there with that. But some of the other, some of the other problems.
Won't they? But it was way up the budget, so that's why they put it on air.
Well, they got 6 of the characters, of course, He-Man and Skeletor. There's 2 of them.
Quintana. Hi, David Quintana.
Yeah, hey, David.
Sci-Fi
Nation, what's up?
Sci-Fi.
So wait, all right.
We got Tila and Evil Lynn, and we got Man-at-Arms and Beastman.
OG characters. So total would be He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, Tila, Beastman, and who was the other one that you said? So that would be maybe 6. Oh wait,
Sorceress? I said no. Sorceress? Oh yeah, okay, 7. 7. The Sorceress.
So
we couldn't get Orko. We got Gwildor.
We got
you got Gwildor.
Fucking don't get me fucking started on fake Orko, man. Fucking fake Orko.
And then the Blade character.
All right, that guy was cool, man. Though
but he was another character that was created for the movie. The same thing with that lizard guy that they fried off towards the beginning of the movie. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
I mean, there was lizard guys in the old Masters of the Universe, but they weren't like main characters or anything because he obviously wasn't one of the Snake Men as far as I remember. So he was just some lizard guy that they put in there.
But tell me, didn't they go and make a small toy line for the movie?
They did make a but you know what? At that point, Masters of the Universe was already pretty much a dead line. This movie and this toy line cemented it. It finished it off. Once this movie was over and the toy line that came out for it, Masters of the Universe closed shop at Mattel for a while. And it didn't come back until 1990 and 1991 or so when they started doing 90 to 91 when they were doing the cartoons for the as Slasher says, the Space He-Man, which was like the New Adventures of He-Man or something. It was called some ridiculous garbage like that. But,
so I got a question to ask Slasher. After seeing this movie, are you sure you don't want to watch Xanadu?
I think he's had enough of men being dressed funny.
Well, all right. I will say I will give Masters of the Universe credit for this. It wasn't a musical, so.
Oh, it was. If you want to talk about the key.
It had some good action scenes in He-Man. Because
it barely did.
He-Man film.
It barely did. Barely did.
Yeah, but
hold on. I need to address something.
Look at ripped off Star Wars.
Sci-Fi Nation, you are wrong. You are wrong. The She-Ra line was started by Mattel, by the women's division, who also heralded the Barbie line as well. They wanted to create a line to rival He-Man. That was created in Mattel first, not the other way around. The cartoon was created to push the new She-Ra line that the women in the Barbie division created. That's why she looks more like a Barbie than any of the other. No, you're wrong. You need to go back. You know what? Here, you don't believe me? I'm going to give you something real easy because I'm not going to argue with you like that idiot Lunga that likes to get in chats and just argue with people. You don't believe me? Go ahead and go watch The Toys That Made Us. They will explain to you and tell you where it started.
Which is on Netflix.
Getting back to the He-Man film, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10 as a He-Man film, but 7 out of 10 for an action film. Because there was some good action bits in it, and that there was that storyline that I thought
Really?
like, it was
Really?
There wasn't enough action in it.
You mean
No.
you mean the manhole surfing didn't do enough for you?
God. Oh, Jesus
yeah.
Christ, dude. It tried to turn people into like the Silver Surfer at one point. Like everyone's like riding these little fucking ski things in the air. It's like, come on.
No. In his day, I was saying in his day, that was pretty good effect.
I mean, yeah, but
They used, I think, Highlander 2 money, or it was,
I
it
have
was some.
never seen past the first Highlander, so I couldn't say.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, when Skeletor came to Earth, I kind of liked his throne.
Yeah,
you mean that like that space clamshell that he was riding?
Yeah,
on?
That kind of like that Jabba the Hutt sail barge type thing, except on a lot smaller scale. You know, he just comes through and he's just riding. He's got 2 guys on each side, one guy on each side, and turrets, and it's just.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool looking.
Like his throne.
It was all right, but he was. That's
Yeah, I
another
was
thing,
saying,
too,
though.
man. They took like 2 minutes of him slowly riding that thing through the street. They did.
Yeah, but
They
it was
wasted
a
a
good
lot
set
of
design,
time
though.
on that. It's like, oh, come on now.
Yeah, but it was a nice set design. That was like, all right, we'll get a few minutes out of this. We haven't spent all this money just to show that like real quick.
No, Darius, no.
Butthole surfing. Like the band, Butthole Surfers?
Yeah, nobody remembers Pepper. What the hell's wrong with everybody?
Was there
I
Wasn't a
can't
fan
even
of
get
it.
it. Oh, at least you remembered. Okay. You don't have to be a fan of
But-
it. You gotta at least know they exist.
But I'm going to
Yeah.
continue on. Moira, what was your overall thoughts of this movie?
I think I was more impressed when I was 8.
Okay.
Did you see this in the movies?
Yeah.
You saw this in the theater. Wow.
My dad took me to see a lot of movies.
Yeah, my dad did too, and this isn't one that I asked him to take me to see. As much as a He-Man fan as I was, I didn't want to see this when it came out.
Well, I'm not sure what was in the theaters around that time. It may have been the less of the awful. Like there's probably like Creep Show or whatever that he's probably not going to take me to. So like depending on what year it was and what else was out in competition, probably like.
Okay, yeah. The
All
safe
right, I
choice.
can take her to this. She's like 7. I can take her.
Yeah, so it's like
No.
the safer choice.
Yeah.
or something.
When it came to my parents, I could count on two movies, and that was either a Star Trek movie or a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, my dad was the same way, JJ. He loves Star Trek. He took me to see Star Wars too. I mean, granted, we couldn't see it in '77 because it wasn't playing anywhere in Jersey where we lived. So we had to wait until Lucas re-released it in '78 to see it. But yeah,
But
like
still,
that,
you got
Star
to see
Trek,
it.
yeah,
though.
yep.
JJ, you see Bones' comment? I 100% agree with that.
This one?
Oh God, that's a hell of a hot take. Woof.
Nope. I 100% agree with that.
I
Can't they
think so
can't they
too.
both be garbage though? Can't they both?
I liked Flash Gordon for what it was. It was cheesy, but it was pretty good.
This movie was a much, much lesser version of that movie. That's what I say.
I reckon if Queen had done the soundtrack for He-Man, it would have been just as good. And the end scene, like the battle scene,
better.
yeah, well, they ran out of money, and so the He-Man and Skeletor fight scene is quite short, but it's longer than the Flash Gordon versus Ming fight scene.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just this.
Yeah, Flash Gordon was better, but that's because it had a Queen soundtrack, though, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
All right. I'll also give it to this for Flash Gordon. Why I thought it was better? It's because someone from Earth goes to outer space as opposed to
Someone from outer space coming to Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
biggest. That was one of the biggest gripes that a lot of people that were fans of the franchise had with this movie.
Yeah.
It didn't take place on Eternia; it took place
Exactly,
on Earth, which
yeah.
makes absolutely no sense as far as the Masters of the Universe line is concerned.
Yeah. Well, they said that it'd cost so much, and that because like they'd had to do Battle Cat and everything, and so like yeah, in the end they just settled for putting on Earth, which yeah, it was like. bit of a
So,
shame.
Jens, your takeaway is the action scenes from this movie. What few and far between action scenes?
No. There's quite a few. There's at least 3 major sort of like fight scenes in it. Probably about as much fight scenes as like most action films have. Apart from like
Well-
I'm talking about 80s action films sort of thing. Because nowadays, yeah, you'll just get a Bourne or a John Wick where it's like action non-stop. But as I said, to put that stupid storyline.
I've still got to watch at least one John Wick film. So I
Oh,
haven't
Lord.
seen
Well,
any.
start off with the first one. And so then you'll know why he's going on a rampage. Because if you watch 2 or 3, you won't really understand why he.
All right. You've already made your feelings known, but I'm gonna ask you anyway, Tommy. What was your overall thoughts of the movie?
No, I didn't like it. And you know what? I'm not going to say it's absolutely the worst film I've ever seen. I can't say that because there are definitely a lot worse than this. I think at moments they tried, and I think at moments they failed so hard at not even trying that's what was the biggest detraction away from this movie. I think if they would have put it on Eternia, if they would have put more of the characters that we remembered from the cartoons and the toy franchise in instead of these just Hollywood productions, I think this probably could have been a lot better. And I think one of the other big things they had is they didn't want He-Man to look too much like He-Man from the cartoon or the figure line. They wanted him to have a completely different look, and it was almost already leaning in that, as Slasher said, the Space He-Man direction with the outfit that they gave him. I think that's another spot that they really failed. They didn't need to have all that garbage on Skeletor either. They could have did something simpler with like a big cloak around them, with
they made
limited amount of armor.
They made every OG character look not like the source material character.
Well, here's the most hilarious part. The guy who plays Skeletor had actually petitioned the studio to not wear all that shit because he actually had a fairly muscular build. And he felt that he could have looked very much like the Skeletor in the cartoon and the toy series. He wanted that, but the studio said no. It didn't look dark enough, or it didn't look real enough to them. So they didn't even listen to the actors on the set that were trying to help them out. I mean, that's why this movie did not do well at all. It failed miserably at the box office.
Compared to the budget, it was a huge failure. It was a box office flop. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing you talk about.
All
Now,
right.
I've said it before, and I'll just end with this real quick, JJ. The Masters of the Universe line was already on decline from the minute they started making She-Ra toys and the She-Ra cartoons and all that stuff. Masters of the Universe wound up going on a decline. Within a year of She-Ra's release, Masters was pretty much in the toilet bowl already. They thought that this movie was going to revive the brand, which was suffering tremendously at that point. This not only put the final nail in the coffin as far as a revamping and maybe a revival as far as bringing new cartoons to the table, which it ended in '86, but it also destroyed the toy line because after this, they were done for years.
I always notice that IMDb and Wikipedia numbers are not always equal when it comes to looking up the budget to box office.
You know,
But,
we've talked about that before. I mean, there's a lot of problems with that too because they never put in any kind of promotional tie-ins and everything. Some sites put promotional
Also,
tie-ins in, other ones don't.
also like VHS sales, because there was plenty of rental. There was plenty of rentals back in the day that made a lot of money after they failed at the box office. But
That's true.
That's what I
it says on Wikipedia, it says the budget was 22 million. All right, can anyone here try to guess what the box office was?
Right.
Probably 30 to 40.
What? Let's go. The box office money they made off this movie.
Yeah, the budget was 22 million.
I'll go for an even 100 million.
That was too much for back then.
You're being very generous, Moira.
I don't know. Well, maybe I'm thinking these days.
That's what I was saying. 30 to 40 million.
I'll say 70.
Box office? You're all saying box office now. Okay.
Yeah, 30 to 40 million box office.
All right, Tommy, what did you say?
I would probably say like 19.
He probably looked it up. To be fair, he's a sneaky guinea pig.
No, I didn't.
Jens, what will you say? All right, 22 million budget Jens. What will you say the box office was?
10.
10?
Ooh, that's a steep loss.
17.3.
Didn't even make its budget back.
Didn't even
Dang.
fucking break even.
Well, I mean, I knew it was a failure. I thought it was probably closer to 19, but you know.
You was closest.
22 million. Did that really look like 22 million was put into it?
In today's
Back
money,
then.
yes. Then
Back
no.
then, yes.
Special effects would have been most of that. And
Today-
but there was such
today's-
bad ones.
If they did that movie today, it'd probably be a $300-400 million movie.
Hopefully, it looked better.
Well, no, I'm saying production.
They could have gotten any kid out of film school to do better than what I just saw. There's people already in our YouTube community who can do fucking better.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's some fucking fan film making shit out there. That's
What's up, Shifty?
Hello, Shifty.
What's up, Shifty?
You know, for someone called Shifty, he seems pretty solid.
Yeah.
No, that's because he hasn't had any Waltons yet.
The hell?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
my God. Oh, my God.
yeah.
Not that kind
Yeah,
of solid, Tommy.
Yeah, sorry.
It took a minute.
Shifty, we remember. I mentioned this to everyone once I saw this logo come up at the beginning. Canon Films, Canon Pictures, whatever the fuck they were called. They had these fucking guys, Golan and Globus. If you saw these two names in the beginning of a movie, you knew it was gonna most likely be bad. Golan and Globus, and it used to be three of them. It was Golan, Globus, and another name. Tommy, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, but I don't recall the.
Globulus?
No,
That's G.I. Joe.
it wasn't
Oh,
Burgess
oh.
Meredith. It wasn't
My
Burgess
bad.
Meredith at all.
My bad.
They
Why
did
you
the
guys think?
they did the ninja movies, the terrible trilogy of ninja movies, and they. Although, all right, I like part 2.
What, Revenge of the Ninja?
Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and then Ninja 3: The Domination.
Mystery Domination, yes. I love the third one. That woman was hot.
Okay, yeah, it
Was
was.
she was
Golan,
hot, but goddamn, that movie's terrible.
yeah, slasher Golan
I'll be right
Globus.
back. There seems to be a dog barking in the yard.
Wow, wow, wow. All right. Last but not least, Jens. What was your overall impression of this movie? What did you think?
well,
I know you've been. I know you've been saying it here and there. Just, if you wouldn't mind, kind of half-assed repeating yourself.
yeah. Well, it was them where for a He-Man movie, yeah, it was a letdown. But as I say, if if it hadn't been called He-Man, it was called something else. Like,
Well, also
Space
technically, yes,
Barbarian.
it wasn't called He-Man. It was called Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, because remember,
but-
Skeletor did say, "Now I'm master of the universe."
True, yeah,
After-
true.
Yeah.
But he did have He-Man in though, at least, I mean, all the way through. He didn't get killed off.
Yeah, he didn't get
Well,
killed
yeah.
off, which was,
But
hey, at
as a
least
film-
He-Man didn't get killed off in this movie. Spoiler alert.
yeah, he makes it all the way.
Wrong franchise.
to the end. Yeah, because it was one of them where Dolph Lundgren, he played a good He-Man. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to do a good Prince Adam, I don't think.
He was
Oh.
alright. Alright, you know what? I'm glad there was no goddamn Prince Adam. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I don't want to
Yeah.
see. I don't want to fucking see Dolph Lundgren in a pink unitard with his
Please
fucking
no.
high collar up, trying to act proper.
No, it's too weird.
With a bowl cut. No, I'm
Oh.
glad there was no Prince Adam. I will
No,
say
no, no.
that.
The high tie he had in Universal Soldier suited him fine.
No,
Oh, you mean the Ivan Drago hair look?
yeah, of course.
Well, the Drago cut was a little higher up, where in
Well,
Universal
yeah, the
Soldier
black top.
his hair was more in regulation.
yeah.
It was.
Either of those, having the shaved up on the side and
It wasn't
a bit
flat
longer on
topped
top
up.
was more fitting.
It wasn't flat topped up, is what you're saying.
So
Right,
you
it was
didn't
more-
you
it
didn't
was
want to
military
see
leg, and
you didn't
it
want to
was
see no
better.
more characters with the Mo cut, is what you're saying.
The what?
The Mo cut.
The Pete Rose haircut, the bowl cut.
Oh yeah, no, I don't need that.
Hey Mo, wait Mo.
All right. Oh, the Mo. Yeah, Larry Moe and Curly. Got it. was like,
Oh,
See, she didn't even get it, so I don't feel
I
bad
was
now.
not. Yeah, I was not catching the reference at all.
No, it's
Yeah,
all right. It's the first stages of dementia. It's okay, people.
The Jackie
You
Chan.
motherfucker!
You could also call it Jackie
I don't want
Chan.
to jinx myself, so I won't.
All right. Next, Slasher. Was there anything about this movie that you liked?
Healer. He was hot.
That's it?
He's a man of simple words.
I liked probably about. All right. Well, all right. All right. I'm gonna table what I said about what I like. Right. I'm gonna go into what I hate. I'm sorry. Orko, little fake Orko. Yeah, I wanted that thing to get run over by its own car at one point. That thing was annoying. No, fake Orko could go.
Yes.
Wow.
I do agree with him. That was one of the things I despised about the movie the most was that character. I did not like that character
That
at
is
all.
the bastardized cousin of Leprechaun. I'm sorry.
And you know what? As far as Evil Lynn, I think that they came close to hitting Evil Lynn. I realized that they had to change it a little bit for the movie, but I mean, to me, there was just something that just felt a little bit off about the character, the way they were
Her eyes are
portraying
off.
her. And it's not even the look; it was just her being her, being the character Evil Lynn. It didn't feel exactly right. It
Well,
felt
I thought
just
they were
slightly
trying
off.
Well, I thought they were trying to go for a more grown-up sort of approach, where, like with the X-Men, where when they did the film, they sort of like tried to make the uniforms look more.
Yes, how they were trying to. Yes, they were trying to get away from the original look. They even made a crack in the X-Men movies. Like, what do you want us to do? Wear yellow spandex? They made a crack about the comics. Yes, that's what I didn't like about the X-Men movies was that they basically put a bunch of them in S&M outfits. Like, it's like okay, wearing
They were
leather
bigger than
puppet.
that.
wearing
Well,
leather puppet outfits, but we're
You know what? There was a way for them to do it, and you know what? Early Marvel showed them that there was a way to get close to the original outfits while maybe making it updated, make it seem a little bit more realistic, but keeping the aesthetics in place. Marvel did that really well early on with a lot of their films.
With what?
Because
though?
when you seen Captain America, he looked like Captain America.
Oh, okay.
You know, when you see,
I thought you were talking about like before the MCU shit.
no, like even when the first time that they brought in Spider-Man, he looked like Spider-Man. Iron Man looked like Iron Man. You know, I mean, all those characters looked like they did. Maybe not perfectly, but they looked very much like they did in the comic pages. And that's what the fans wanted to see. And that's what the fans of the He-Man franchise with Masters of the Universe, that's what they wanted to see when they went to see this film. And for a film that was going to pull the toys out of the dump and revive the brand, it failed miserably because they didn't want to listen to the people who had respect for that franchise and knew what the fans wanted to see. They didn't want to listen.
So, Tommy, you wanted to see Evil Lynn in a bath, like the toy figure in the cat.
I'm not saying that she had to be dressed up exactly like that. You know what? They could have made they could have made an outfit. They could have made an outfit that would, could have been more concealing. They could have did anything, but if they would have made her character more like Evelyn's character that we knew from the cartoons and even in the pages of the old mini comic books, I think it would have been a little bit, more well received. Like even with the Skeletor, even though they changed him a little bit, if they didn't have him coming on with these long diatribe lines, I think it would have been a little bit better received as Skeletor. I mean, I think that's where they ruined it.
Well, he was pretty good as Skeletor, but he did own the film in the end. It was more like the Skeletor did have the better parts in the film, but as I say, I don't think it was all much of a good He-Man film, but it was a pretty good film.
I would say this: if the makers of this movie decided to just totally rip off He-Man, but then try and make their own movie and just rename it something else, yeah, sure, I think it would have been all right as a movie to see.
I mean, that's the killer part, though, Slasher. It wasn't even like they were trying to rip off the toys. They were hired by Mattel. They were hired. They were hired to create this film
and wipe their ass with characters that they already owned, and we're just gonna make new characters. Use one of the characters you already have.
I mean, that's the problem. Every time they license these franchises out, there's always room. They leave room for Hollywood to make all these different changes instead of sticking to your guns and say, "Hey, this is the way it needs to be." And that's the only way it should be, or as close to that as possible without going too far outside the box.
I'm saying I'll also use this as an example of what I thought was one of the things wrong with this movie, that they didn't use their actual characters that they had licensed to. It was the same. I never saw Ninja Turtles 2, but I know that there was a fake Bebop and Rocksteady. There was no need for that. Why not just fucking use Bebop and Rocksteady? You already have these characters.
But I'll tell you something though, with Skeletor, the eyes, they could have done a better job in the film. Just made it more black and that.
I mean, he looked all right, but they didn't.
Yeah, but I'm saying
if too much on him. They just put too much on him, is what I'm saying. They could have simplified it. He didn't have to have that fucking robe. They were. It also seemed to me that they were really trying to turn him into the next emperor. They were really trying to turn him into the next. You want to make this motherfucker look like the emperor.
Yeah. As I say, the Emperor's got more darker eyes than Skeletor. And Skeletor isn't even supposed to have any eyes.
No, because he's supposed to. Yeah, he's supposed to be a goddamn skeleton. Yes, of course, but
well, his face is, isn't it?
So JJ, what did you like about this movie?
Yeah.
Oh no, it ain't about me. It's about you guys, brother. Right now,
Yeah.
as I started, Moira, your turn.
Yeah, I
Was there
say,
anything that you?
I know one thing that JJ did like about the film was the actress who played Evil Lynn. Because, yeah,
Nah, maybe not.
she was pretty good, as in, like, she had that sort of, like, good.
You make it
acting,
sound like I'm always a sucker for a good-looking woman, and that's not always so.
She did have a good presence in. I thought you were going for more dominatrix sort of.
That woman looks like if she stared in my eyes long enough, she'd legit take my soul from me. I don't know. That woman's very scary looking.
The only thing I liked about her is her eyes, man. Her eyes were gorgeous. Now I'm talking about her eyeballs, not her makeup or none of that dumb shit. Just her eyeballs. But Moira, what did you like about it, if anything at all?
Yeah,
Don't strain yourself now.
It's not going to be his oil, the oil that's emanating from his pores as he's fucking.
As you can see by the picture, though, he was in peak condition. He trained for it, and he hadn't done a fucking Robert Pattinson where he just laid at home, curled up.
Well, to me personally, you look at Dolph Lundgren. I thought he was bigger in Rocky IV. Like he shrunk in this movie.
This fucking guy barely had any screen time.
But he's more trimmed in this, like, and you can like see he's got he's thingy down, but he has got more like his six pack than that. I think he's got a better six pack.
Oh, he doesn't just have a mullet. He's got that teased up shit. He's got like Farrah Fawcett shit going on.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying his physique for He-Man, though.
Well, Clairol was probably his friend back then.
He's fucking spraying Aquanet all over that shit.
Yeah, well,
I'll be He-Man tomorrow. Just spraying away.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's there and all for He-Man.
Tommy, did you like anything at all?
The only thing that, like I said before, is I thought was decent is that at times that they tried. There's no doubt at moments that they did try to come close to the original story and, do the Mattel brand justice by reviving their brand, which they were hired to do, but they ultimately fell flat. I mean, that was the problem. I think that they came close with Teela. They were on the right track with Skeletor, but ruined it by just adding too much. Slasher has already said that. I think maybe in certain circumstances, if maybe the outfit was slightly different, maybe his haircut was a little bit different, and he didn't look like, I don't know, redneck trash He-Man. Maybe Dolph Lundgren could have played a better He-Man. And I really think that they could have did more with Teela and Man at Arms, where they could have kept it more realistic, more grounded if they wanted to, but they could have made it feel more like the characters that they remembered, the characters that they came to the movies to see. There's no doubt why this thing flopped. The fans did not get what they wanted, and this is not really a new concept. This has happened many times before with movies in the past. It's just that at this point, we don't have people like back then. We didn't have people like in our face saying, you're toxic or you're this or you're that because you didn't like my product."
There was no internet back in those days. So.
No. Even like when they were doing reviews and talking about it, you didn't have them bashing the fans because they didn't like it. They knew they screwed up. They didn't listen to all the advice they were given. They had plenty of good advice that was being given, even by one of the actors, and they just failed to heed it.
Siskel and Ebert used to bash fans repeatedly if they were fans of horror movies.
Yeah, but who really paid attention to Siskel and Ebert?
A lot of people did. A lot of people did back in the day.
I don't know. When I was a kid, I paid no attention to what those two idiots say. The same way I don't pay attention to rotted potatoes today.
What's
Rotten
up,
potatoes.
Fluger?
What's up, Pflugerville?
I'll tell you something.
Man,
If
man,
they
y'all,
put some more,
Kapla.
y'all ain't liking this movie too much. So I guess
No.
except for Jens, man. Jens is the only one
Yeah, I
really
think
with
he has the
anything.
highest- He definitely has the highest.
JJ, are you gonna play like the Love Train music?
No,
Oh, okay.
but you got to remember when He-Man was made, it was one of them where the special effects weren't like that well used. So it was like with like Star Wars and other where they're like using it as they go along and that. And so,
What the fuck was that? He just played.
Hey,
Oh, my God.
can you bring that back
Did you do
again?
that
I'd
by
like to
accident?
see her shake her
Did you do that
little
by
back
accident,
end a
or
little
was
bit
it
more.
no, he was talking about, are you going to play such and such? And I'm thinking, no, but I could play something else. Yeah, maybe I'll bring it back in a minute if you guys are good enough.
Fish juice.
Yeah, Darius, I'll play some ELO. You better watch out.
Fizzy.
Yeah, not when we're watching Xanadu, because I won't be watching Xanadu.
So when you watch her, if you play the Mortal Kombat music, do you say at the very end, finish yourself?
No.
Fizzy.
Anyway.
yeah, because I reckon.
Yeah, it was shitty, wasn't it? Anyway, Jens, come on. What did you like about the movie?
The action, as I said, there were some pretty good actresses. Because if they'd have spent a bit more money and got a bigger action sort of budget on it and done more action in it and not had them. Oh, what's her name? Oh. Yeah,
Don't even say Courtney Cox, because Courtney Cox was not having a high payroll at that point.
No, but
Yeah,
if
because-
they got rid of their
He was not
character.
He was,
Yeah,
but
but-
she was not a star at that point.
I know.
No. After her appearance in the Bruce Springsteen movie music video, you could tell this was at the point where her hair was starting to grow back out.
And
It was not.
he also wasn't a star at that point. So
No, not by any means.
Yeah, but you don't have to be for him to like just cut her out of it and her boyfriend and just spend more money on fucking making more action scenes. And
well, you also had,
yeah.
I guess, because of the stupid plot of this movie, they had to have the Earth couple to guide them and help them through their fucking journey, like blah blah
Yeah,
blah, yada yada yada.
It was for the girl, the like female audience, that I think. So the boys go to see all the action and fighting.
And then you got a
And
love
the
story
girl-
in the middle of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
girls can. Because the thing with He-Man is he don't really I'm much of a love interest. He's probably a bit of a rogue.
See, I thought she was gonna end up falling in love with He-Man. That's what I thought the whole thing was.
Well,
I mean,
reckon
there's
He-Man-
one thing. There's one thing that this movie had going against it. It's what every movie before it, and even up until the more modern times where we're starting to see him semi being done right, even though they're going backwards on that now. But anything that was associated with comic books and toys back then, a lot of it just was not taken serious at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you really didn't see anybody taking, especially even comic book characters, serious until what? Batman?
Hey, look at Marvel's first attempts at making movies.
Mhm.
Everyone seems to forget about those dark days.
The old Batman movies.
Oh wait, the serials.
That was
Those
DC.
serials they used to have. No, like when Marvel was doing shit like I don't know, Doctor Strange and Fantastic Four that didn't even get made. Like, yeah, they
Well,
were.
they tried a couple times to do Fantastic Four. Then you had the Blade movies, and then there was a few
first of all,
others.
Blade is what gave them balls to do all the other characters. If it wasn't for Blade, there would be no Spider-Man, X-Men, and after that.
Now, JJ, I wasn't saying that Batman was Marvel, but I was saying like the Batman movies that they did based on the old TV show.
Oh yeah. Gotcha. Now, don't get me wrong, because that's somewhere down the line. That's going to be one of the movies I think me and Slasher does is Batman. Keaton's '89 Batman.
Fuck yes.
Eventually, we got almost 3 months worth of movies to do, so we ain't planning to do much at the moment. That's what happens when we just get together and just talk about some fucking movies. Hey, what about this one? What about that one? Hey, what do you think about? It's like retro discussion behind the scene. All right, I'm just going to go around and ask the final question. And I know Slasher already just went out there, but was there anything else that you did not like?
Like I said, I could actually do my own video and go into a 40-minute rant about fake Orko, but I'm not going to do that.
Now, the only thing that was missing was the pointed hat, and you would add Orko. He had the ears, and because there was no hat, dude had hair, and the voice was close enough. And that's the one thing I hated the most about that movie was Gwildor. Oh
Good
man!
God! Good God! Good God!
I don't even remember his name. That's how
Good God.
much
Every time that character came on the screen, I wanted to punch myself in the face to distract myself from the annoyance of that character.
Here's one I completely forgot about. You want to talk about weird old movies? So there was a 1988 and a 1989, The Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno.
Oh wait, the one that had Thor.
Well, the first one was
Thor,
Incredible
Daredevil.
Hulk
One was
Returns.
Thor, one was Thor, and one was Daredevil, right?
Yeah, the second one says Daredevil joined forces in the trial of the Incredible Hulk.
All right, hang on a second.
And they
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Sci-fi. That doesn't matter. There was nothing wrong with Back to the Future.
Yeah, great.
The first Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good, I think.
I only like the first one, but that's just me.
I like all. three of them.
I have opinion, though.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's like saying you have fucking values also.
I can change my mind about things. Just because I like the first thing doesn't mean I'm gonna like the second one. It's usually the third. It's usually the third that's the worst of a franchise. If everyone here knows what I'm talking about, you ever notice the part 3 of something is really, really the shit one? Is it just me?
No, because Rocky 3.
And you're not wrong because
not Rocky 3. I won't say Rocky 3 because I liked all the Rocky movies, guys.
well, there's been like 20 Rocky movies. You can't go by the third movie.
That's, yeah. That's.
But,
I agree with Rambo 3, though.
But
Yeah, Rambo 3 was compared to the first two. Yeah, Rambo.
with you saying that, Slasher, I have to agree because if you look at a trilogy of films, even in the original Star Wars trilogy, believe it or not, Return of the Jedi was the weakest film.
All right, I really did enjoy it.
I think it is too. I mean, there's a lot of people who say it's the best because it wraps up the series. And then there's a lot more people that say The Empire Strikes Back is the best movie out of all of them.
Yeah, it's the strongest.
I personally love beginnings. I love introductions to characters, especially when they're done right. So that's why the first one is always my favorite, the original Star Wars.
All right, I'll throw out an example here. Superman 3.
Sucked.
Hey, did anyone here like Superman 3?
I
Nope.
don't remember it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I was patient to see it.
The best part of that movie was one of the dumbest parts of that movie, and that was Richard Pryor.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I did like Richard Pryor though, and like it was before I even knew, like he was like a stand-up comedian, but he was so funny in that, you know.
Well, that was back when Richard Pryor was starting to become a big thing, you know, because he did Superman 3, he did The Toy.
Well, yeah, it was in his prime money when he was doing like films with with the See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and that.
Bronson?
No. Oh.
Superman 1 and 2 were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
3 and 4 were fucking horrible.
Well, what do you expect? What do you
Four was really
expect?
bad.
What do you expect? They were funneling money from both of those movies to do this one.
You just skied downhill on a pile of shit with those two movies.
At that point, that they were just taking the brand and they were running it for everything they could get out of it. I mean, they seen that the first two movies did really well, and you're like, hey, well, let's just run with this anyway, even though we are completely devoid of any content.
Wow.
Part 3s are normally shit. Part 3s are normally shit.
Didn't they between 3 and 4?
Unless we get lucky enough that, like this movie, they didn't get past the first one.
I don't know, Slasher. There's been a few part 3s that have been really good.
I'm saying normally. Normally they're shit.
But here's the funny thing.
Rare,
You know where
it's very rare that a part 3 is good, but I'm saying normally.
you know where part 3s always tend to shine, and it's pretty hilarious most of the time? As a lot of time, horror movies, part 3s are better. Friday the 13th, part 3, Jason gets his mask. Nightmare on Elm Street, part 3, The Dream Warriors.
Even though Jason got his mask in that part 3, it was still a stupid fucking movie. There's the stupid pointless 3D they did. Like there were certain points where they didn't need to do the 3D shit that they did it.
Yeah. Well, you know, everybody was doing it. Then
Okay, wait, hey Tommy, what do you?
3D.
I was gonna say, Tommy, what do you think of Jaws 3? 3D. It's like, yeah.
I didn't mind it. I don't think it was as strong as the first one. Once again, but I didn't think it was horrible.
What do you think they should have done with He-Man? If that had been in 3D, I reckon it'd have been pretty good with Skeletor and He-Man at the end. That fight scene, that in 3D.
Hey, does anyone remember Spider-Man 3? When Tobey Maguire got his stupid haircut because he had the Venom suit, and he's dancing through the streets. Didn't they really tie up Spider-Man 3 so good with all that shit?
Not really.
I'm just saying, part 3s are most likely gonna be shit. It's very rare that a part 3 is actually gonna be good. That's my opinion. I'm just saying.
All right. Continuing on, Moira. Other than the grease, was there anything that you didn't like?
The grease.
Special effect. It looked like they were ripping off Star Wars. It was terrible.
This looks a lot worse than the original.
They had stormtroopers that couldn't shoot. You know, cheesy laser beams going everywhere. Like.
And you know,
Okay.
Maury, you have a point there because there really wasn't. There was a few characters that used lasers in the old He-Man, but it wasn't like everybody had a freaking laser gun on them, and
No.
He-Man certainly didn't use one.
He-Man's using his laser rifle more than he's using his goddamn sword in this movie.
Yeah, that's because the problem
Hey, you gotta go prepared for the fight.
have all the effects of like Dolph Lundgren cutting up people. Well, there's robots.
Yeah, so they gotta not be so brutal about it, right?
Oh yeah, because if there's been
Yeah, if he's hacking people left and right.
yeah,
Yeah.
living beings, that he couldn't have, but because there was like androids and that,
Well,
he could
He-Man
shoot
and the
them
Sword
down.
Dude couldn't even properly sword fight. That was
Yeah.
that was the worst sword fight I've ever seen.
Oh, okay,
Well,
all right.
no,
So
no,
you want me to
it
say
was-
something good about this movie, JJ? Yeah, Sword Guy. Eye
Yeah,
patch Sword Guy.
I was gonna say,
That
Yeah,
guy was cool, and that guy should not been in this movie. They should have put this guy in a different movie.
well, yeah, he's probably
Yeah,
done it.
as his own character.
Yes, exactly.
He should have. Hey, well, actually, they made sort of a female version of him.
Although his name
For
was
Ice Pirates.
Blade, so I guess it might have been it'd have been like Marvel would have been like, nah, you can't use that name.
Yeah, well, I'll
If
tell you,
Marvel even gave a fuck about the character around the time. Is what I'm saying.
yeah, well, the sword fight scene between Blade and He-Man, it was pretty good. I thought it was like,
That was one of the
Obviously-
better. That was one of the better action scenes of the movie.
yeah. I would say, obviously, it wasn't fucking top class because it was back in so like fight scenes, apart from in like Japan and that, with, like samurai sort of action shit. There like weren't many sword fighting coordinators in that, apart from the fencing, and so yeah, it was a pretty good fight scene with the swords.
Okay.
It was short though, wasn't it? It lasted for about 30 seconds. So.
But yeah, I said something good about the movie. That guy was cool. I like that guy. He looked cool too.
All right. All right, Tommy. I know you've been voicing your piece a little bit here and there, but lay it out, man. What didn't you like besides everything?
I didn't like the direction with the costumes on a lot of it. I didn't like the dumbing down of the characters themselves and their tones and how they should have been portrayed. I didn't like that. I didn't like the insertion of characters that nobody cared about. Nobody wanted to see them. That's not what they came there for. Like I said before, they came there to see the characters that they remembered from the toys, from the cartoons. That's what they came to see, and they failed to deliver on that part. They gave us a few characters that kind of resembled what we were used to, but they missed the mark, and they missed the mark in grandiose style.
The costumes really did suck. They really did.
Mm-hmm. I did not like Langela's Skeletor. That plastic mask just didn't do it.
That was actually prosthetics that they put all over him.
Still didn't do it.
I thought
They could have put whipped cream all over his face. It still wouldn't have worked.
Well, I thought the eye bits would have been better if they darkened it out and that, and maybe give him some
So you couldn't
contact.
see his eyeballs. So you couldn't see his eyeballs. Yeah.
Yeah. Or in fact, you only
Look, you see it right now.
and maybe
You see it
close
right
them.
now. You see it right now. If you look at the top of the screen, you see his eyeballs in the.
You know
It's-
what bothered me more than the eyes is the fact that he had a completely set of a set of teeth completely separated from the rest of his skull.
Yeah.
Underneath his teeth, he
Yes.
had lips and then teeth. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but to be fair though, that would have been hard for him to do a like skeleton jaw, which I can see why they're like
I
thinking.
guess.
But
I guess, but they still could have put that in the budget, though.
Yeah,
it
well,
wouldn't be much. They could take the mask and cut it around just between the top and bottom row of teeth, and then have like some latex, so that way the jaw is more flexible.
yeah,
Kind of like a
but like
prosthetic.
yeah, but I think it would took too much time on the
Not that much. I've done
No.
it.
For the makeup team to do that shit.
no for the creation team to think up of the where they was gonna do it. The time like
Oh, really?
the
Wait, all right.
shooting.
Also, I'm gonna say, all right, we're all sitting here. This costume. I'm not gonna disrespect him because he probably had to sit in the makeup chair for a mad long time to have
Oh, yeah,
that
he
fucking
did.
mask put on him. So it's like
Oh yeah,
and film every
And
day.
you know
Yeah.
what? Like I said
Not-
earlier, you know,
Props
much
to
credit to
Franklin
him.
Keller. Yeah,
Like
props
much credit to
Franklin
him,
Keller.
Slasher. He didn't like a lot of the elements of that costume, and he was saying that they should make it look more like the cartoon. He wanted them to go to that direction, and they just didn't want to listen. I mean, there's an actor who's part of the series. I mean, and he might have known a little bit about the Masters of the Universe and He-Man. I'm sure he wasn't a huge fan because I don't remember ever reading that.
Probably from
Oh,
his,
But
like
he at least did research, and he was saying this would be
Sorry.
more
So
appealing.
let me stop you there. His kid was a real big He-Man fan because that's why he did this part because his kid
Oh
was into
yeah, you're
He-Man.
right. You are right, Jens. I forgot all about that. That's right. His kid used to play with the
oh
toys.
shit. So they talked him into this.
Well, no, he did it for his kid. Jens is
Oh,
completely
okay.
correct. I forgot all about. Thank you, Jens. I can't remember it all on my own.
All
I
right.
can't. I don't think anybody could.
Well, yeah, and also, Dolph Lundgren did not have to sit in his chair, that long compared to Frank Langella because of, how long does it take to get greased up anyway?
Well, I don't think Dolph Lundgren was sitting in,
Greased anyway, JJ.
yeah, Dolph Lundgren wasn't sitting in his in his chair very long because he kept slipping out of it because of all the fucking oil they fucking doused on him.
Yeah. They was probably trying to take
This
the grease
motherfucker
off
was
him.
like, JJ showed me this movie. He's like Dolph Lundgren is like sweating through my screen. I was like Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, when you
Fucking
He-Man
sweating
though, you
through
do a bit of energy, don't you? So you are going to sweat a bit.
What's up, Keely? Well,
What's up, Keely?
What's up, Keely?
Well, here's another thing. With all the diversions they took from the original show, in way of costumes and everything else, why they wanted to incorporate a more expressive Skeletor face is beyond me. It's supposed to be a skull. It's supposed to be a skull. It's not going to really be expressive. I think that was one thing that they really goofed in this one. Like Moira said, they should have did something that was a little bit more like a mask with the latex over top of it. Something that could have been a little bit more stiff. If they would have did that, I think the Skeletor face would have looked a lot better. I mean, granted, everything else that was going on in this film, I think his
He
face
would've-
makeup is a bit of a minor thing
He
compared to
would've-
everything else.
He
I
would have
say
looked
it-
awesome if it wasn't a He-Man movie. If he wasn't playing Skeletor in a
Yeah.
He-Man movie, he would have looked awesome in something else if he was playing a different character.
I could definitely see this character in like Legend or something like that and being worked in.
Yeah,
really well.
yeah. As like a background character. Yeah.
But as I said, with all this, there was on a budget and a time limit, and the went way past the budget because the had to sell stuff. I think to do
Also,
the ending.
also don't forget the Hollywood butchering of source material. Don't forget that because they had to take their time to do that. Even back then, it's not a new thing. Everybody, Hollywood butchering of IPs that everyone like. It's not a new thing.
Yeah, well, there is a few people that get paid just to change a few buttons, zips on a costume.
Anyone ever?
Anyone?
Anyone ever try to sit through the fucking Bob Hoskins Super Mario Brothers movie? Holy
Oh,
fuck.
God.
Holy fuck.
Once was enough.
Holy fucking shit.
Well, that's the thing, Slasher. I mean, yeah, the Hollywood versions or the Hollywood Hollywoodized version of scripts and novels and everything like that. Look at the original Shining.
Well,
Now,
just call it
why the Shining
Bastard.
was a very good movie, it was nothing like the original book. It's so far removed from the original novel that the two are not even compatible, really.
They just use the term bastardization, which is what it is. That's exactly what
Yeah,
it is.
but people think, oh, how dare they wreck my childhood, blah, blah, blah. Ladies and gentlemen, this movie was in 1987. They've been doing it for a long time.
Yep.
Well,
Exactly.
this was a movie that taught me that conversions from cartoons to films probably ain't gonna look.
Doesn't
that
always
much.
work out.
Yeah.
It's not always gonna work out.
And Keely,
it doesn't look bang on.
Keely, we watched the 1987 Masters of the Universe movie since, the Netflix series has finally came out. So we figured we'd go back a few years and rag on this one a little bit, because I'm tired of talking about the other. I don't give a fuck about Kevin Smith. I'd rather not talk about him, and that's about as much as you're going to get out of me
I'll
about
tell you
that.
what, JJ. I tried multiple times to even watch the first episode of that series. Every time I watched the trailer go, every time I thought about everything that Smith has said and everything that Netflix said that was contrary to what he was saying, and just everything that's bound up in that mess. I could not get past it, and I could not watch. I tried last night again. I was like, I'm going to watch the first episode. I'm going to do it, and I was like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I wound up turning on the. What did I turn on? I turned on the Power of Grayskull again. The story of He-Man. I turned that on again instead.
What's up, Tim? Good to see you, man.
What's going on, Tim?
Yeah, Tim.
Hello. Alright, so hello to somebody. You want to watch the first
Jens.
episode and then cut off it, and it shows the cut off time. So, but yeah.
All right, stay on target.
The blast
Your
zone
turn.
is only 2 meters wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I didn't like about E-Man, I have to say, like, Skeletor, the mask, as you said, if they spent a bit more time in that, because an easy one was, they should have just painted it a bit yellow, because it was white, and Skeletor's got a yellow skull for some reason.
Well, he was yellow and green on the original toy.
They did, but you notice you know what? I was thinking that same exact thing, Jens, and then they started giving him the yellow glow at the end.
Yeah, with the special effects.
But I was saying, that's how they're gonna make up for Skeletor not being yellow.
I understand. No, listen, I understand what direction they were going because.
No, but what
See,
Jens is saying is but I noticed at that point they were doing they were like, okay, we're gonna make him yellow for 5 seconds.
Hey,
yeah,
so,
but
Tim, what's going on, Mar?
Mar, what's going on,
what's
man?
up, Mar?
Good to see you. No, because you look at the cartoon, man, the original cartoon. Skeletor was yellow. In this movie, he wasn't because I guess they were trying to.
White. He was ghost white.
They were trying to picture an actual human skeleton.
Well, even a human skeleton is a bit yellow.
Yeah, but not the yellow that we knew in the cartoon.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, do you know the backstory to the original Skeletor and how it was designed? The guy who was creating all the artwork for those toys when they were first in design work.
Oh, I was about to say because the artist wasn't Celestri the artist.
No, it was this one guy.
Not the guy that made the toys. I'm talking about one of the artists for the cartoon.
Oh, the cartoon. Yeah, well, I don't remember the artist in the cartoon. I'm talking about the toys where it actually started, because it actually started with him as a child, remembering he went into I believe he said it was in Long Island. He went into a haunted house type thing, and a skeleton dropped, and he said it stunk, and he said he swore it was a real person, like a decayed face of a skeleton of a person. And it turns out it was true. He found out something like 60 years later or whatever the hell it was. And that's where he got the initial concept of what Skeletor would look like. That's why the original toys got yellow plus green on there for the rotted skin that was still around the skull.
Yeah, because his face wasn't just yellow. It had the little green, it had little
Now, going by the cartoon and then going by the toy, the toy kind of looked like it might have had a touch of that green in it to make it. I don't know if it did or not, but it kind of made it look like it would glow in the dark.
No, he didn't glow in the dark at all. No, it was just
Scareglow. Scareglow was the one who blew in the dark.
I think it was just around the eyeballs, wasn't it, and around the nose, sort of thing, the green. And most of it was yellow.
Scareglow was the one who blew in the dark, JJ.
All right. Last but not least, and I'm pretty sure I know what most of you are going to give it. Last but not least, the infamous grade slasher. What you got?
C minus.
C minus? Or did you say T minus?
C minus.
C
Wait,
minus?
I could go as low as T. I thought we were doing like
No, A through F.
I thought we were doing school grades. Okay,
A through F.
C minus.
Okay, yeah, that's better than I thought you was going to give. Especially for saying you hated it.
Well, I didn't hate it. It was just they could have did so much better with what they did. I'm tired.
What's
of
up, Truth?
I'm tired of sitting through these movies like you could have did so much better. I'm tired of seeing them.
Well, it was in the 80s. What do you want, man?
I know, but there's even so many movies back then where like you could have did so much better.
What's up, Truth?
Especially when you take an IP, when you take a well-known IP, and you wipe your ass with it. When you take a well-known IP and you wipe your ass with it sucks. It sucks.
Of course
Yeah,
it does.
it's a He-Man season, though, isn't it? So what else?
But okay, Moira, you got a grade for me?
B minus.
Oh
She
wow,
gets a
that's
higher
overly.
grade than I do.
That's overly generous, but okay. Tommy, don't hurt nobody now.
What are we going down to?
F is what F is. F.
I would. F is the bottom.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say I would rank
standard
it
letter
just-
grade.
I would say, I would say. I would say a G. I mean, it's definitely on the lower
It's
scale.
below an
It's not.
F.
It's.
He's saying it's below an F.
I mean, it's definitely not the worst thing that I've ever seen. But you know what? It's not something that I want in my collection, and it's not something that I want to rewatch.
Same. I think I'm good with this one viewing of it because I get the gist of it. I don't believe it has any rewatchability.
And sci-fi, is there a problem with that?
Okay.
Because if there's a problem with that, I can easily make it 5 watch and 5 on the panel. Okay. All right, Jens. What's your grade, man?
Yeah, it's getting it's like a fucking A plus plus plus.
Yeah, no, for He-Man film, I'd give it like a C grade. But for an action film and adventure, I'd give it like a B.
A B.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. 'Cause
All right. That ain't bad.
He comes from the country of Benny Hill. He is somewhat jaded to cheesy.
Well, even I am to some point, but
I would actually rather watch Benny Hill episodes than watch this movie ever again in my life. The only reason I watched this movie, the only reason I watched this movie is because me and JJ were like, we're gonna watch this movie and do our critique on it. That's the only reason I did this.
well,
I avoided
figured-
this movie since goddamn 1987, and I'm here
Bruh.
for this. I'm here for this.
and we're doing pretty good tonight. You know, like I said, you know, it's what's hot right now. It's just this is not exactly what you think it is. This is the first version of it, and it sucked too. But no, I can't honestly say that because now that everybody's spoken, my overall thoughts of this movie, you know, I agree with everyone, you know, especially to the point to where, yeah, they could have done better. They really could have done better with what material they had to work with. Of course, I love the women in the movie. They were all banging, you know, and I say that lightly considering it was the 80s. Even a young Tom Paris, you know, from Star Trek Voyager was in it. A very young Courtney Cox, a very greasy Dolph Lundgren, you know, a very clayed up, plasticized, you know, Frank Langella, classic actor. They could have done a lot better with what they had. No, but the women. I'm never going to down women in a movie. Sorry, I don't care how dumb the movie is. There's some good-looking women in it. I'll point that out. Because I did that for the first 3 episodes of WandaVision. We did a round table for it, and hey, what'd you like about it? Well, Wanda looked pretty good. That was about it. What I disliked about it, everything else, because they couldn't even get most of the sci-fi part of it right.
Everything else.
Well, think about it. No, slasher. Let's stop and break this down for a moment. Okay. Let's go back a few years. Okay, let's go back to when Star Trek 1 and 2, maybe even 3. I'm not sure when 3 came out. The entire Star Wars trilogy, even though it started in '77. Those 3 movies, those 6 movies, looked a lot better than this movie did. Okay. If you didn't notice, man, if you watch Dolph Lundgren while he's trying to aim his pistol or his rifle, whatever the hell he's using, it's like he's trying to hold as still as possible, because
Also,
that's where they got to place the laser beam there.
I also noticed this thing, like, Jens kept saying that, like, Tila, like, she looked masculine. Like, she really didn't look masculine. Every time, Jens, hang on one second. Every time Tila is holding up her fucking laser blaster, she's doing this girly 2-hand, like, I'm playing Nintendo on the light zapper type thing. No, not even that, JJ. Her elbows are bent back. Like, I see what. Yeah, yes, exactly. Now what you're doing now, JJ. Yes, Tila's doing that every single time. She's not masculine.
And
I said she looked a bit, and she acted because like supposed to be like a commander, isn't she? She's like an army, but
she didn't look masculine
well, yeah,
at all.
but
she did do a bit of a shit job. And
I mean, yeah, compared to Courtney Cox, what you were saying when you were watching.
Well,
the movie, yes,
she was
Courtney Cox.
Yeah,
Courtney Cox was probably also like 17 when she made this movie. So.
Yeah. But as I say, she was a good tailor, and there was a good man at arms, and it was all good. I thought that they played good characters. It's just like it could have been a bit better in that if they had more budget and
All right. Well, my takeaway from the movie: the girl who played Tila, she was hot.
All right. And last but not least, I'll give the movie a C. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world, because there's always undefeatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had some good action scenes in it, though. As I said,
It
there
did.
was some pretty good action scenes.
Some good acting.
Yeah, well,
Some.
yeah, but the buggy went in the effects, the costumes, and the setting, isn't that?
But with that being said, I'm about at the hour and a half mark. Going to go ahead and close up shop. I want to thank everybody in the chat that came in, everybody on the panel. Thank you for showing up. Whether you was actually here or not, that's a completely different story. Tommy. But I want to appreciate, I want to thank everyone, total, panel, chat. Without all y'all, there wouldn't be a show here. And not quite sure what we're going to be doing next week, but it's going to be something probably just as bad and just as demeaning. So, with that being said, no, God, no.
Wait, which one?
Sleepaway
He
Camp.
said sleepaway camp. I'm like, no.
Oh man, JJ. Oh man.
No,
No.
no. I don't do them movies. You know that.
Oh man. Oh JJ, you can watch Sleepaway Camp, JJ.
No. But with that being said, everybody, say good night.
Good night,
Take
Greg.
care,
Have a
y'all.
good night. Peace out.